Hey, what's going on, family? It's your nephew, Willie Moore Jr. live, and I'm going to keep it 100 with you. You're watching Up Close with Dr. Berry, my brother. Flat out.
Well, this is exciting to be able to sit down with the one, the only Willie Moore Jr. Will, it's exciting just to see how God is just taking your career to amazing levels. I mean, you literally are an example of what Paul said, doing exceedingly abundantly above all that we can ask or think. Do you ever have moments where you just sit back in amazement about what God has done?
You know what? I'm always amazed at what God is doing. Not so much of what he's personally doing in my life, but really just looking at my fruit. Like to see my sons, to see my wife, to see all the people that we get a chance to touch across the country. Like, I'm a guy from the neighborhood, so I understand that men don't cry.
Right.
Like, they don't just cry. And when you're in the airport and you see a tough guy and he talked to you about something that he heard on radio or something he seen on Facebook or something that he heard in a presentation and it breaks him down to tears, that's usually when I'm at awe. Like in awe, like my wife, she makes sure I don't get a chance to feel myself. She don't want to hear nothing about no motivation. She like pick them socks up, so it keeps me grounded. Do not change that station, because when we come back, it is time for us to keep it 100. And you know your nephew needs your help. It's the Willie Moore Jr. Show. Flat out.
Well, it's amazing. I'm sure, as you already know, I mean, there are thousands of people who are following you day in and day out, whether it be social media, you know, through the radio broadcast. And so most people see your today. But if you don't mind, kind of take out the DVD, go back and rewind. Tell us, what was it like growing up and what kind of gave you the motivation to aspire to the heights that you are now?
The one thing that motivates me the most, my parents.
Yes.
Like, I was adopted when I was 3 months old.
Right.
Like, I've never met my biological parents, but my forever family is Willie Moore Sr. and Flora Moore. Hence me making everybody across the country call me Willie Moore Jr.
Because
I never want to be mistaken for the Superman that I call Dad. His name is Willie Moore Sr.
Willie Moore Sr.
Yeah. So they adopted me when I was 3 months old, 1 mile from Ferguson, Missouri, in a little town called Berkeley, Missouri.
Berkeley.
Yeah, and so, you know, grew up with a median income was $18,000 a year.
Okay.
Right? Like straight neighborhood. The only thing I seen was killers, drug dealers, and a lot of people who did a lot of crazy stuff.
Right.
But I had a gift. Like, I could sing and I could rap.
Sure.
And so I was the guy that people saying, it was like, Willie, man, you gonna do something. Lil Willie, don't get Lil Willie that. Like, Lil Willie gonna do this and that. I ended up running track, went to the University of Mississippi.
Sure.
Everybody thought I was crazy when I put on an Ole Miss hat. Like, when you rank top 10 in the nation in track and field, they're like, man, why you go to Ole Miss? And I looked right in the camera and said, my dad, you know, he's 86 years young today. I said he couldn't go to Ole Miss because of the color of his skin.
Wow.
So I'll get a chance to go for free.
That's major. That's exciting. So what would you say to the young person who's watching this broadcast and they're identifying with your story? Maybe they're showing some gifts, some talents, but they can't see beyond the neighborhood. What would you say to that young person?
You know what? The one thing that God gives every single one of us is the gift of imagination. Right? Like, if you can just get into your imagination and don't allow people to overtalk your imagination.
Sure.
Like, what I was able to do was I would just ride my bike and I would just imagine where I wanted to be.
Wow.
And I told my mama when I was 7 years old, I said, Mama, one day I'm gonna retire you. I got tired of seeing my mama clean floors.
Sure.
I got tired of seeing her working in housekeeping. And I wrote that down at age 7 years old. I didn't know exactly how that was gonna happen, but I was able to retire my mama later on in my life. And so what I'm challenging every young person to do is get a vision and know exactly what you want.
Sure.
And you go after it with all your heart, your soul, your mind, and your spirit, knowing that God is with you.
Right.
Like, and like, honestly, what if it was the truth?
Is the truth.
What if we were more than conquerors?
Right.
What if greater is he that liveth in me than he who's in the world? Like, we say it,
Sure.
but when you really start believing that when you and God walk in the room that you're the majority,
Right.
like, you really go out there and win. And so I worked with a fire and a tenacity that people literally haven't seen because I grew up with a sharecropper, 2 sharecroppers.
Wow.
And so I knew that everything is a blessing. Like, anybody that works with me, they already know, like, dude, work too much. Like, because I understand the power of hard work, because I grew up with 2 amazing parents who taught me that.
Man, that's amazing that you say that. The other day I was talking to some young people and I was telling them that one of the biggest farces that we tell young people is work smarter, not harder. I said, no, listen, if you're going to make it, you got to work smarter and work harder. Put them together, make it happen. So one thing I love about you, you know, you talk about your work ethic, you talk about, you know, humble beginnings. But one of the things I love about you is that you have an incredible sense of humor. Just kind of just watching you with your wife and your kids and kind of, you know, if you don't mind, walk us into the Moore residence. What's life like at home between your wife and your kids?
We 2 only children, so honestly, it used to be a clash of the titans, to be quite honest. I wanted it my way. She wanted it her way. But we realized, man, that sometimes you just can't take life so serious.
Sure.
Like, we find funny in everything that we do. The children make us laugh. We make each other. Like, she's pregnant right now.
Sure.
So it's just a lot of fun. Like, I'm kind of making fun of how she walking because she's starting to get bigger. We walk every day.
Right.
And then she making fun that I'm going bald at the top. So it's just fun. Like, we have a really, really good time enjoying ourselves. And it just so happened when the cameras are on, people get a chance to see our true, authentic self.
That's awesome.
Like, we don't get an opportunity to fake.
Yes.
Because we're just who we are. And people get a kick out of it, and millions of people watch. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Now, we talk about the music industry, and I'm sure you have literally seen it shift and evolve. And what would you say to maybe that person that wants to break into the industry? What wisdom, what advice would you give them?
You know what? Sometimes we try to chase fads, and and especially in the gospel music arena, I've never seen a genre who was so focused on the charts.
Sure.
Like, who's number one? Who's number two? Because I came from hip hop and R&B. We wasn't worried about charts. We was worried about the money. Like, I didn't care if I was number 10 or 20. As long as $100,000 was coming every weekend, we were good. But everybody's into recognition. The one thing I've seen is people who have the longevity is when they true to their gift. Like, the Bible teaches us that our gift is going to make room for us. Not our, like, crazy things that we do to be seen. Not all the things that we do to compromise our walk. But our gift is going to make room for us. So anybody aspiring to be an artist, I would say, listen, either write or pick songs that are true to you. No matter who doesn't like it, there is a group of people who's going to gravitate to what you do because they hear your truth. I always tell people, I became successful, not that I was everybody's cup of tea, but I was somebody's cup of coffee. And I'm doing all right with people who like coffee. And I'm okay with that. And I hope that every artist is okay with that too.
That's awesome, just to hear your self-awareness, identity. I mean, that's awesome. So we'll kind of close out on a fun note. What's one funny fact that most of your viewers or listeners don't know about? So what's one fact about Willie Moore Jr. that the average person doesn't know?
I don't know if it's funny, but just how particular I am. Like, many people probably think that you're just so confident. But like, I'm always asking my wife when like, how did I do? Like, as soon as I get off stage, it's like, how did I do? Was it too long? Or, like, just how self-conscious I am. And we make fun of it. Like, boy, you killed it. Did you see everybody yelling and hollering? I was like, yeah, but I want to know, like, because I want to, like, I'm doing it for God, bro. Like, so when I was doing it for the world, like, I didn't really care as long as the check was there. And so when I do it for God, I just want to make sure that I don't go too far to the left, too far to the right. I want it to be entertaining, but I do want to make sure that I handle this platform in a way that's mature. So I'm always like, hey, babe, how did I do? And I ask my team, how did I do? And I keep a lot of people who don't say yes, and people who like, hey, man, where were you today? You know what I mean? Like, did you not hit the word this week? Because you were everywhere. You just had too much fun. So I think people probably think I'm super confident, but I'm really aware that there's still a lot of growth.
A lot of growth, right. Well, listen, I want you to know that there are literally millions of people who are rooting for you, cheering for you. I just appreciate again, your family life, the fact you keep God first. Like you say, we like the coffee flavor. I'm not sure whatever that flavor is, but listen, don't change, and know that there's tons of us who are just rooting for you.
Thank you, sir.
We appreciate you taking the time just to spend a little time with us here at the Forest, and we know great things are in store for you. So know this, if nobody else saying amen, when your wife don't say amen, know that the Green Forest family got your back.
Come on with the Green Forest family. I love it here.
Amen. Well, thank you all again for tuning in with us. It's been a phenomenal segment with Willie Moore Jr., and we thank God for what God is doing in his life, and we know that the best is yet to come. Tune in next time, Up Close with Dr. Bill.